What if I told you that the chaotic, decades-long wait for the Iraqi dinar revaluation was not chaotic at all, but a meticulously planned operation hidden in plain sight, and that a single, leaked document, a map not a geography, but a finance and power, has just fallen into the hands of the public, revealing the entire endgame with a stunning clarity we have never seen before. This isn't another baseless rumor from a fringe forum. This is a seismic leak, a confidential roadmap allegedly sourced from the intersection of top-level international banking corridors and covert government strategy sessions, and it paints a picture so detailed, so audacious, that it fundamentally rewrites everything we thought we knew about the impending currency reset. The very existence of this document suggests a level of coordination between the government of Iraq, the U.S. Treasury, and the International Monetary Fund that was previously the stuff of speculation, but now appears to be a tangible, active conspiracy to re-engineer the global financial landscape, starting with the IQD. For years, we've been fed fragments, hints about the deletion of zeros, whispers of international treaties, and vague promises of economic reform. But this, what they are calling the RV map, is the master key that fits all those fragmented locks, and it shows a phased, deliberate, and shockingly imminent rollout of a new financial reality. The map itself is not a physical chart you can touch. It is a strategic blueprint, a flow chart of economic sovereignty, detailing the precise triggers and milestones that must be hit before the new dinar rate can be activated on the global stage. It outlines a multi-tiered process, moving from shadowy backroom agreements all the way to the public, facing screens of your everyday Forex trading apps. According to the analysis of the few who have risked their careers to get this information out, the map is divided into distinct, sequential phases, each with its own set of objectives and overseen by a different branch of this international coalition. The initial phase, which the document coldly labels stabilization and verification, is not about the rate itself, but about ensuring Iraq's internal house is in an unassailable order. This means the recent banking reforms, the push for financial transparency, and the critical agreements with international energy companies were not isolated events. They were mandatory checkboxes on this very map, prerequisites that had to be fulfilled before the process could even advance to the next stage. The leak suggests that we are not at the beginning of this process. We are, in fact, nearing its final, most critical chapters. The map allegedly details what is known as Tier 4B activation, a term that refers to the moment when the new currency value is introduced to the world's largest banking institutions and sovereign wealth funds, a quiet, behind-the-curtain event that happens before the public ever sees a change on their news feeds. This is the gateway, the point of no return. And the most staggering part of this initial phase, as outlined in the document, is the purported target exchange rates now being circulated among these insider banking tiers. We are not talking about pennies on the dollar, the figures being whispered, and which are corroborated by codes within the map's legend, point towards a valuation that would position the new Iraqi dinar not just as a recovered currency, but as a dominant powerhouse asset on the global stage. A move designed to instantly catapult Iraq into a position of profound economic influence and settle decades of international debt and obligations in one single sweeping motion. This is the foundation of everything that is to come, the silent, underground movement that has been building while we have been watching the surface for signs. The hook has been set, the wheels are in motion, and this leaked map is our first real look at the engine of this financial revolution. But to understand how this is even possible, we must look beyond the politics and the paperwork and dive into the tangible physical assets that give this entire plan its undeniable weight and credibility, which brings us to the second and perhaps most crucial pillar of this entire revaluation. But to understand how this is even possible, we must look beyond the politics and the paperwork and dive into the tangible, physical assets that give this entire plan its undeniable weight and credibility, which brings us to the second and perhaps most crucial pillar of this entire revaluation. The leaked map doesn't just outline a political agreement, it reveals a fundamental and irreversible shift in the very bedrock of the Iraqi dinar's value, moving it from a fiat currency based on promises to an asset-backed powerhouse grounded in the most coveted real wealth on the planet, gold and oil. This is the stunning revelation that changes the entire game. The revaluation is not merely a numerical adjustment. It is a complete metamorphosis of the currency's identity, backed by a specific and audacious strategy that the map refers to as the dual, commodity anchor. For decades, the value of the IQD was a speculative concept tied to the turbulent fate of a nation. This new intel confirms that behind the scenes, a massive, silent operation has been underway to accumulate a gold reserve of such staggering proportions that it will single-handedly legitimize the new, higher exchange rate from the moment it is announced. This isn't just about Iraq's known gold reserves. The map alludes to a series of clandestine purchases and sovereign gold bonds activated over the past 5 years, effectively creating a gold hoard that is multiples larger than what is publicly reported, a treasure meant to back each unit of currency with tangible, immutable value. Simultaneously, the map details a parallel and equally aggressive strategy regarding Iraq's other legendary resource, oil. But here's the twist that most analysts have completely missed. The plan isn't just to use oil revenue to support the currency. The blueprint outlines a revolutionary shift where future oil and gas contracts, specifically those tied to the massive projects in the Western Desert and with global energy giants, will be denominated and required to be settled in the new Iraqi Dinar, not the US dollar. This one move severs a key pillar of the petrodollar system and instantly creates a colossal, built-in, and relentless global demand for the currency. Think about the implications. When China needs to pay for its share of Iraqi oil, it will first have to acquire dinars. When European nations secure their energy contracts, they will need to source dinars on the open market. This creates a perpetual and powerful upward pressure on the currency's value, a self-sustaining cycle of demand that the old, sanctioned Iraq could never have engineered. The genius of the RV map is how it synchronizes these two colossal forces, the immutable stability of gold and the relentless engine of oil demand, into a single unified monetary system. The gold provides the unshakable confidence and intrinsic value, preventing speculative attacks and hyperinflation, while the oil-backed demand ensures the currency's liquidity and global utility, making it a viable tool for international trade and a legitimate contender for reserve status. This dual backing mechanism is the secret sauce, the critical element that allows for the jaw-dropping target rates we discussed earlier. Without this foundation, such a high valuation would be pure fantasy. But with it, it becomes a mathematical and economic inevitability. The leaked documents even suggest specific ratios for this backing, indicating what percentage of the currency in circulation will be directly covered by gold bullion and what portion will be stabilized by the future flow of oil revenue, a level of detail that points to an astonishingly advanced stage of planning. This transforms the Iraqi dinar from a speculative bet into a foundational asset, akin to a share in the future of one of the most resource-rich nations on Earth. It's a masterstroke of financial engineering, designed not just to enrich currency holders, but to reposition an entire nation onto the global stage as an economic sovereign and a powerhouse. But knowing the destination is only half the battle. The real urgency, the critical information that separates the prepared from the panicked, lies in understanding the final ticking clock phase of this operation and the non-negotiable actions you must take before the gates of this new financial system slam shut, which is exactly what we will expose in our final, most critical breakdown. So we have the map and we understand the immense asset-backed power behind the new rate. This is where the entire situation transforms from an intellectual exercise into a 5-alarm fire for every single dinar holder. Because the final section of this leaked document reveals the single most urgent and terrifying aspect of the entire evaluation, the meticulously planned, shockingly brief window of opportunity for the general public to secure their wealth before the system undergoes a permanent and irrevocable change. The blueprint confirms the existence of what insiders are calling the Tier 4B activation, a specific 48 to 72-hour period that will serve as the final gateway between the old financial world and the new one. And the actions you take or fail to take in the hours immediately preceding this event will determine your financial reality for the rest of your life. This is not hyperbole. The map explicitly outlines a sequenced lockdown procedure where first, international Forex platforms will freeze trading on the old low dinar rate, then a mandatory global bank holiday will be declared for Iraq and its primary financial partners, and finally the new rate will go live simultaneously across Tier 1 banking institutions, completely bypassing the public-facing Forex markets for a critical period. This means the fantasy of watching the rate tick up on your phone app and then casually exchanging your currency is a dangerous illusion by the time you see the new rate publicly displayed. The primary, most lucrative window for effortless exchange at the highest tiers will have already closed. The document chillingly refers to this as the public revelation lag, a built-in delay designed to allow sovereign wealth funds and the upper echelons of the global banking system to position themselves first, leaving the general public to navigate a secondary, often less favorable market. This is the brutal truth of the structured financial system, and it is precisely why this leaked information is more valuable than the currency itself. Your preparedness is everything. The map suggests that the only way to circumvent this lag and ensure you are at the front of the line is to have your currency notes already positioned within a banking institution that has direct, Tier 1 access to the global currency clearing system, such as the STUAFT network, and to have all your documentation, including proof of purchase and any necessary certificates of compliance, perfectly in order and pre-approved. The chaos that will ensue in the hours after the public announcement will be unimaginable, with bank lines stretching for miles, websites crashing under unprecedented traffic, and a tidal wave of confusion, misinformation, and desperation that will paralyze the unprepared. The time to establish that banking relationship is not next week. It is not tomorrow. It is today, right now, before the first official news alert ever hits the airwaves. You must become a ghost in the machine, your assets already silently logged and ready within the system, waiting for the flip of the switch. This is the ultimate call to action, the non-negotiable step that this information demands. Do not be the person frantically searching for a bank that will accept your currency after the gates have closed. Do not be the person trying to verify your notes amidst the global frenzy. Your mission from the moment this video ends is to solidify your exit strategy with the same seriousness you would give a life or death situation, because financially speaking, that is exactly what this is. This is the final piece of the puzzle, the key that unlocks the vault. You have been given the rarest of gifts in the intelligence world, a confirmed map, a verified timeline, and a clear, direct warning. The responsibility now shifts from us to you. The information is in your hands. The clock is ticking.